I ask myself,
explain that.
When will be the time in which we'll look back and say, we missed the opportunity to talk to Hamas. Here is 67. We conquered or we occupied the West Bank. The first thing we did, we kicked out of the occupied territories all the King Hussein Jordanian supporters. Then the PLO walked in, and we said, where are the supporters of the king when we need them? But they were not there because we were the ones who expelled them. Then we said, we shall never talk to the PLO. Never talk to them. So we didn't talk to them and didn't talk to them and didn't talk to them. Now Hamas is there. We say, where is the moderate PLO we missed so many years ago? Now, a day will come, I don't know when, Al-Qaeda will be there in Gaza. It will be the global Islam front, and some of the Palestinians will be disconnected from their national political reality and become part of something else. Then I'll say, where is Hamas? And I say, as difficult as it is there. What will happen? You build a higher wall, you go for more unilateral, arrogant, but still escapism policy. It's not right. You are here, Amy. I want to talk to you.
The question of the role of the Jewish community in the United States, there are those who say that it is even less nuanced in its approach and more emphatic in its opposition to the Palestinians than in Israel. Can you talk about the dynamic there?
American Jewry is an unbelievable Jewry. In the last 150-some years, the Jewish people actually created two political entities, the sovereign State of Israel and the semi-autonomous American Jewry. It is less of sovereignty, but very influential. Never did we have such an influential diaspora in our entire history. And I love it because I, as an Israeli, express the national dimension of myself, and world Jewry, especially American Jewry, expressing the universalist interface between us and the rest of the world, inside out and outside in. But when I see so many of my colleagues and friends making and trying to portray and to lead American Jewry into a single-issue Jewry, Israel, and that's it. No domestic coalitions, no minorities, no responsibility for other social and universalistic affairs. I'm concerned about it, very much so. And when I look at some of the AIPACs, activities, I have a feeling that sometimes we're having three political entities, the United States of America, the sovereign state of Israel, and the independent state of AIPAC, which has its own policy, whatever it is, not working for the best interests of Israel, according to the way I understand it, and Yitzhak Rabin understood it, and not according to the best interest of the United States of America. This is a kind of a filter which filters only darkness through it rather than light through it. And I would like to see the alternative American Jewry, which is expressed through the liberalism and humanism and civil rights and a total commitment toward peace, as the one which expresses me.
As you speak right now, Avrum Burg, just down the road outside the World Zionist Organization here in New York and the Jewish Agency, the organizations you used to head, there is a 24-hour protest that is being led by Jews against these organizations.
This is the answer. What is the question? Okay. What do you think about it, right? First, I love people to express themselves. I mean, politically or democratically, when people go out of their homes and they're not passive and not just watch the TV, zap to the next station and that's it, but they do something, I'm happy about it. But it takes more than a protest movement. It should go into a much deeper conversation between us and us. And I'll give you an example, okay? We'll look at the outcome of the last elections in Israel. Everybody is horrored by Avigdor Lieberman, who bases the foundation of his movement on two very infamous American Jews who made it all possible, Rabbi Kahana and Baruch Goldstein. So there is something wrong with some quarters and some neighborhoods of the Jewish philosophies and Jewish thinking that we have to address internally and not just politically.
He beat Ehud Barak. Right?
Yeah.
Came in third.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And will make the coalition. What does he represent? What about the asking Israeli Arabs to sign loyalty oaths?
Lieberman expresses for me, or actually is iconizing for me, two kinds of phenomena. The first is what happens all around the world, which is very xenophobic. I heard it in the elections here just a couple of months ago. I hear it in America, in Europe with Haider and Blocher and Jean-Marie Le Pen and others. And this is one thing which troubles me a lot because it is about racism. It's about xenophobia. It's about hatred, this time Jewish hatred and Jewish xenophobia. And I have to fight it. I have to face it personally and collectively.
What about the U.S. government and what's happening now? The U.S. House and Senate passed resolutions in support of the Israeli attack on Gaza. What is your thought on that?
A mistake.
Why?
Because this is still the energy of the ocean liner of George W. Bush. That never mind what Israel is doing, never mind what my beloved child is doing, I'll never say no. Now, it is wrong for the world, it is wrong for American interests, and it's wrong for Israel that Israel will do 200 meters from my window what America permits itself, wrongly so, but permits itself to do in Tora Bora. Because by the end of the process, America will withdraw from these places. But I have to live with the impacts of all of these unrestrained and unconstricted aggressions. And therefore, what I'm expecting from the White House, what I'm expecting from the new president, what I'm expecting from the new Senate and the Congress is to reintroduce dialogism rather than violence, to reintroduce conversation rather than continue with the cowboy policy.
In the past few weeks on Democracy Now!, we've had both former President Carter and also one of his top aides at the Carter Center talking about the potential for a road for peace between Israel and the Palestinians. I'm sure you're probably familiar with President Carter's proposal. What do you think of it as a realistic possibility?
Politics and realistic possibilities are kind of oxymorons, okay, even here and especially over there. But it must be peace. Will it be peace out of hope or will it be peace out of despair? It's just a departure point, but eventually it will be there. Now, since the arch enemy of the region is the Shiite revolutionary regime in Iran, and all the others are ready to have a different kind of conversation. So all of a sudden, the Saudi King Prince Fahd formula, which is the Arab League policy, saying, let's talk about a comprehensive coalition between Israel and Egypt and Jordan and Syria and Lebanon and the PLO and the occupied territories, and all of us together, more rationalistic, more Western rather than the Shiite devil. That's the way they see it. That's an opportunity. There is an opening there.
And the proposal of President Carter specifically to trade land connecting Gaza and the West Bank for some of the land on which the current settlements are?
These are details. These are details, because by the end of the day, everybody knows what will be the bottom line. The bottom line will be 67 lines, and whatever cannot be resolved according to the exact geographic line will be land swap.
Should Israel pull out entirely from the West Bank?
Tomorrow morning. No, actually yesterday evening. No doubt about it.
Pull out all the settlements.
Yeah, it pollutes our morality and it contaminates our policy. And we became hostages of the messianic eschatological policy of the settlers, which actually leads Israel into a de facto one-state solution, which discriminates one people over the other people. At the same time, the Palestinian society was kidnapped and held hostage by the hands of the eschatological Hamas fundamentalists. And both societies must get rid of their prisoners, get rid of these kidnappers, and get over the Stockholm syndrome that I'm in love with my kidnapper. And only then we will be able to talk to each other.
And finally, do you support the divestment movement here? You just heard the divestment movement. You just heard in our headlines that Hampshire College in Massachusetts has become the first college to divest from companies that are doing business with the Israeli military. It
stands against my value system to boycott. Okay, if I said earlier in this program and earlier in my life, I'm totally committed to the conversation, even with my worst enemy. So boycott is not a tool for me. Boycott is an expression of violence.
Avrum Burg, I want to thank you very much for being with us. He is the former Speaker of the Israeli Knesset, former Chair of the Jewish Agency, former head of the World Zionist Organization. His new book is called The Holocaust is Over. We Must Rise from Its Ashes.